who in diverse ways worked so hard for our victory. Those who were in the markets, those who went door to door, those who contributed resources, those who manned the polling stations, those who collated the results, those who secured the pink sheets, and so on. Ayiko to all of you. Interestingly, ladies and gentlemen, the NDC decided to challenge our victory at the Supreme Court. However, rather than mounting a serious effort, they rather went to the Supreme Court to tell us that the Electoral Commission gave them tea without biscuits. You remember that when we went to the Supreme Court after the 2020 election to challenge the results, we presented over 10,000 pink sheets to support our case. Over 10,000 pink sheets. We told the court that we were relying on the data contained in the pink sheets because you and I were not there. When Asiedun Ketia went to the Supreme Court, he was asked, where is your evidence? Where are your pink sheets? Now pink sheets no way. Asiedun Ketia said, and I paraphrase him, my lords, the pink sheets are not there. Then why are you here? He said, my lord, we are not here to challenge the results. Ladies and gentlemen, their election petition was fundamentally incompetent. And the bottom line is that they had no evidence to challenge our victory, notwithstanding all the noise they made to deceive their supporters. Kukrudu! Kukrudu! It is very important to remind ourselves that our party, the Dankwa Dombo Busia tradition, was built on the patriotism, strategic thinking, actions, dedication, sacrifices, and accomplishments of such great political icons of our tradition and our party, such as Dr. J.B. Dankwa, Chief S.D. Dombo, Bafo Osei Akoto, Edward Akufo-Addo, William Oforiatta, Alhaji Yakubu Tali the Tolana, Obechebi Lamte, Professor K. Buzia, Jato Khalil, Nabaifa Kabo, Alhaji Aliu Mahama, C.K. Tedam, S.G. Anto, Albert Edubwahi, R.R. Aponsa, J.B. Darocha, J.H. Mensah, J.A. Kufuor, and of course, Nana Adodankwa Akufo-Addo. Without them, we would not be here. We are also indebted to so many men and women who have sacrificed and continue to sacrifice for our party and country on a daily basis, most of whom may not have gotten outward recognition. Mr. Chairman, it is our collective responsibility as members of the great Kukrudu family and as Ghanaians to ensure that the sacrifices of these great men and women have not been in vain. They have built and handed over to us a party and a tradition that we must always treasure. We have a charge to continue this great legacy. We have worked hard as a government under the visionary leadership of His Excellency Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, and we are committed to continuing to serve the good people of Ghana. Protecting our efforts, vision, and legacy means we necessarily have to break the eight, as we have termed it. In this regard, let us all be aware that breaking the eight will not be easy. It has not been done before in our history, but I believe if we are united, inshallah, we will break the eight. United we stand, and divided we fall. Our success will depend on how well we conduct ourselves going forward. A strong, united party with a focus on highlighting our successes while countering the desperate, misleading, and misguided NDC propaganda. Rather than taking down each other, we must focus on taking down the NDC, who will be a disaster for this country. Kukuru, the NPP has a solid record of achievement in the Fourth Republic. Our party has become the most important driver of the Ghanaian vision and development agenda. We have been responsible for the most important policies which touch every Ghanaian in every corner of our nation. The NHIS, school feeding, free antenatal services, free SHS, and so on. As we meet here today at conference, we are reminded that it is the party that birthed the government. Thus, strengthening party-government relations is key to our collective success. I believe by the grace of God, we will be able to break the eight because our record is a superior record. Whether we are talking about agriculture, industry, roads, housing, education, health, transformational policies like digitalization, social interventions, and so on, the comparison between us and our opponents is like night and day. Can you really remember any transformational policy implemented by the NDC in their last 8 years in government? Can you remember any social intervention implemented by the NDC in their last 8 years in government to reduce suffering? We, on the part of the NPP under the leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo, we can give you at least 25 social interventions we have implemented to reduce suffering of people in this country. Kukrudu! Kukrudu! It is important to acknowledge that we in the NPP have not solved all the problems facing Ghanaians, but we have solved many problems, and we have a plan we are working to. After all, let us all remember that we are only in our first year of a 4-year mandate. This is just the first year. We are not even at half time. We're given a 4-year mandate and we are only in our first year. The COVID-19 pandemic has increased the cost of living virtually everywhere in the world, including countries like the United States, United Kingdom, Germany, Japan, France, and so on. It is important to remind ourselves that notwithstanding the global adverse impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on economic growth, on debt levels, and on deficits, at the macroeconomic level, inflation today, all of these challenges, inflation today stands at 12.2%, which is lower than what it was in 2016, which was 15.4%. Today, at 21%, is much lower than what they were in 2016 at 32%. According to the Bank of Ghana, the average exchange rate depreciation over the last 4 years of our first term is the lowest for any first-term government since 1992. The year 2020 recorded one of the lowest rates of depreciation of the currency in 28 years. And the cumulative exchange rate depreciation this year to November 2021 stands at 2.6%. In 2016, it was 9.7%. For the first time in over 2 decades, the trade balance, that is the difference between our exports and our imports, recorded a surplus for 4 consecutive years. This is for the first time in 24 consecutive years. And this year, the data shows that it will be 5 consecutive years, notwithstanding COVID. Gross international reserves are at $10.8 billion, 4.9 months of import cover, compared to $6.9 billion, 3.5 months in 2016. Our record of creating jobs, we've created over 750,000 jobs, is vastly superior to the record of the NDC government, which froze public service recruitment. So, ladies and gentlemen, if our performance on the key macroeconomic indicators, inflation, interest rates, depreciation, external reserves, trade balance, jobs, if our performance on all these key macroeconomic indicators during the worst pandemic in 100 years, if this performance is better than your performance without such a pandemic, how can you say your economic management is better? Kukrudu, the changes we are making as a party in government are historic. The changes we are making are historic, and we are building on the distinguished legacy of President J. Kufuor. Ours is a government that is thinking outside the box to transform Ghana. Under the leadership of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, for the first time in our history, Ghana has successfully issued a digital national ID card. For the first time in our history, Ghana has implemented a digital property address system. About 88% of all the NCA licensed fiber optic investment that we have in Ghana, total investment of all of that, 8% of that was undertaken under the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. For the first time in our history, Ghana has mobile money interoperability. Few people may take this for granted, but when we came into office, the NDC was trying to implement this for $1.2 billion. We spent $4.5 million to implement mobile money interoperability. And by implementing mobile money interoperability, we have been able to create a digital economy. Total mobile money transactions in 2016 was 78 billion. By the end of this year, mobile money transactions will hit about 800 billion. This is what we mean by creating a digital economy. Last year, we were at 570 billion. For the first time in our history, any Ghanaian who has a national ID card can open a bank account just using their mobile phone. For the first time in our history, over 80% of adults in Ghana have a tax identification number. When we came into office, it was just 4%. For the first time in our history, Ghana has drones for medical delivery, and Ghana is the world's largest medical drone delivery service. For the first time in our history, Ghana is implementing one district, one hospital under Agenda 111. By the grace of God, by the end of our second term, we would have built more hospitals than any government in our history. For the first time in our history, Ghana is implementing one district, one factory. Our government has facilitated the establishment of more than 100 factories, more than any government since independence. For the first time in our history, Ghana has paperless clearing of goods at our ports. We have digitized passport acquisition. For the first time in our history, we have digitized the process of obtaining a driver's license. For the first time in our history, Ghana has implemented the Ghana.gov platform, a one-stop shop for public service delivery. The United States government only last week signed an order asking that they also implement USA.gov. So we took the lead ahead of the United States at the Ghana.gov platform. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians can renew their NHIS membership from their mobile phone. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians can apply for scholarships on their mobile phone. For the first time in our history, students can apply for student loans without the need for a guarantor. For the first time in our history, government is implementing a pension scheme for cocoa farmers. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians and law enforcement can find out the insurance status of any vehicle on their mobile phone using the motor insurance database. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians were provided free electricity for lifetime consumers for a year during the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians were provided 50% reduction in electricity tariffs for non-lifeline consumers for a whole year during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time in our history, Ghanaians were provided free water for a year during the height of the COVID-19 pandemic. For the first time in our history, import duties on all goods were reduced by 50%, all goods, and on cars by 30% since 2019. For the first time in our history, government has provided free Wi-Fi to 700 senior high schools, 42 colleges of education, and 30 public universities. For the first time in our history, Ghanaian pensioners can obtain SNIT pension 10 days, just 10 days after making an application. For the first time in our history, Ghana will be implementing a nationwide e-pharmacy, which I will launch next week. We will be one of the few countries in the world with a nationwide e-pharmacy. For the first time in our history, Ghana government has implemented one constituency, one ambulance. And for the first time in our history, government has established Zongo Development Fund. We have built more roads in our first term than any first-term government in the Fourth Republic, and we are continuing. For the first time in our history, we are implementing free TVET, and we have established the Ghana TVET service. For the first time in our history, our government, under the visionary leadership of Nana Akufo-Addo, has implemented free SHS and confounded the naysayers. And by the grace of God, for the first time in our history, we will break the 8. The future is bright for the youth and for Ghana. So let's stay with the elephant. The NDC cannot tell you what they have done historically to change this country. They can only criticize. Let us stay with the elephant. Thank you for your attention. God bless the NPP and God bless our homeland, Ghana.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic of Ghana, for such a clear elucidation of the achievements of our government. We thank you very much. We thank you very much. Please, the men in blue, could you escort these young men from the perimeter? We're going to continue with the program. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Next, we will invite the chairman of the Constitutional Review Committee, deputy leader of the majority side, MP Alexandra Afenyo-Making, to take us through these motions. Please, please,
Follows.
please,
Follows.
Mary, did you know that your baby boy was one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy gave us sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you this child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy?
supposed to eat. This is not sensible.
Exclusively live on TV3 and Dunia TV on Sunday, 26th December, 4 p.m. sharp. You can't miss this.
Whether it's intercourse or
the
interaction.
Holy Spirit that has power over all
So
that.
you
cannot stop
do
the
you
Holy
know
Spirit
that there's many known the Holy Spirit?
Keep watching TV3, first in news, best in entertainment.
This Sunday on Mentor X, it's the final eviction night. 6 contestants remain, but only 5 will earn a place at the grand finale. To make it past this round, they have to be flawless in all their performances. It's going to be a night filled with all sorts of emotions, and you have the power to determine which contestants make it to the grand finale. Keep voting your favorite contestant's name on the short code *713*13# or download the TV3 Reality app and vote. Join us again this Sunday at 8 p.m. right here on TV3 as the contestants justify their inclusion at the grand finale of Mentor X. TV3 Mentor takes you higher. Mentor X is brought to you by Heaven Black Insecticide Spray and Mosquito Coil, and Napa Foods, Sense Body Spray, Club, Better Malt, Tom Vita, Close Up, Geisha, Drugnet,
Cowbell, our milk.
I see no simple game when I'm crapping. Second of Brunya, of the last CPU, in Japan, never can obey it to the depot. Is it on your dog rough? Yamana action the bay. Second of Brunya, connect FM Brunya, Chasa, yes, there was a second deep back. 1 week, and the easiest was the display was a fool and some, but no sub of your woman sons are classic. I'm figuring with 10 now. I'm professional was a pay. Also, traded exhibition, a vital unit for business goods. Your dear executive was your party there today. Oh, you're so good youth center, Kundum Square, and now confessing Padua. Oshas Sunday, 19th December, Zekis Sunday, 26th December. Oh, you're so good at Bronya, Rebel Ship Adisa, the Dofuna for Fufunara, Mayanya Sitas Kakra, a Pedemo Brudu the Ruasa, from your 0244 244 027 and a 0545 572 856. Connect FM Silver Bronya, General Yaniso, Nafia, on your Samara Medical Porter, so on your Samara Papa to total, so what? I'm not here. Connect FM, yeah, you want now.
I wanna wish you a Merry Christmas. I wanna wish you
A young cop and his fiancée realizing their lifelong dream together. The daughter of a tycoon, about to launch her dream career, celebrates her birthday with her father. But then, the unexpected happens. The tycoon and the cop's fiancée framed as lovers. A strange twist of fate brings two opposite worlds together. A series of mysteries will lead them on a road to unravel a web of lies. A breathtaking story of deception, treason, and dark family secrets. Missing diamonds are the clue to surprising revelations. And romance will help them survive. Black Money Love.
Black Money Love shows Monday to Thursday at 8 p.m. only on TV3. Brought to you by
Cowbell, our milk.
Yumvita, Lantis Soy Milk.
Hello, welcome to the Single African Market Program, dedicated